Hey guys, Assalamu alaikum. After my last video, I was truly surprised and a little bit relieved that almost 100 people watched my video. Thank you so much, guys, for the support and kindness. Some of you even put like button on my video, put thumbs ups, and also my subscription number has went up by six. So it was really exciting because I was a little bit hesitant, to be honest. I just didn't know what I was doing. As you know, that this is my personal channel, and I discuss my own feelings and thoughts in this channel. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a legal advisor. Whatever I say over here is just like completely based on my personal opinion. But anyhow, I was going through my last video, and I think I actually rushed through a couple of the points at the very end because of the timing issue. I personally think that those points actually deserves a little bit more explanation from my end. That's why I'm actually making this video. In this video, we're gonna discuss what are some of the economical elements that I think can make or crash the Toronto housing market. All right. So we start our story with two very special economic elements known as the immigrants and the employers. Now, both of them, these two elements, they work really, really hard, and they earn food for themselves and for their homeowners. Now, the homeowners are mostly known as real estate investors and landlords here. Real estate investors usually own 3 to 4 houses for rental purpose. You may recognize these people when they say something like real estate market will never go down, prices will never go down, house prices will only go up, etc., etc. Now these people they usually do Airbnb, short-term rental, house flipping, etc., to make money. And then now you see another element I have added over here. This is on the other hand, it's the landlords who typically says pretty much the same thing as the realtors, but in this particular case, you may recognize this type of people when they say something like, I pay 50% of my mortgage and the rest comes from renting out my basement. Anyhow, at this point, everything is going great. The more money immigrants and employees make, the more profit it is for the homeowners. You may ask how. The answer is by rent increasing. For example, when we had minimum wage up a couple of years back, did our rent went bizarre. In fact, my personal rent was also increased just last month by my landlord during the COVID-19 situation. So you can understand what I mean. Anyways, as we were saying, everything was going great at this point in time, and then the big thing happened. Let's call it Mr. COVID. So when COVID happened, three things actually happened. The first one is unemployment, it went up. Immigration, it stopped, and rental income, that also stopped. Now, then what happened is the government stepped up and came up with two brilliant ideas. The first one is they decided to print more money and hand out free money to everyone living in Canada, and The second idea that they came up with is that this is a good one though, that they will be paying the companies subsidy to keep their jobs open. Um, Now let's look at this picture and see how this funding is affecting each of these elements that I draw. So the first element is immigrants. Nothing is happening to them. They're not getting any benefits out of it. Then the second one is employees. At least now they have some of the income that they have lost, and which may now go towards their rent, their food, and other stuff that they need to purchase. Now, it's a good and a bad thing that the government said that if these particular people they don't pay rent, in that case landlords do not have the right to evict them from their property. This actually caused some trouble for the next 2 points that I'm gonna say is for investors and the landlords, because for investors what happened is, even though government is giving these financial supports, they're still in trouble, because if tenants they do not pay them the rent, government financial assistance is not going to cover all their expenses. And the reason is, as I said before, that these are the people who actually has 2 to 3 mortgages to pay, because they purchased a lot of properties for rental purpose. And as for the landlords, they're also a little bit in trouble, I would say. Reason being, most of these people they have been buying houses above their mean, and they are highly dependent on their rental income to supplement their mortgage payments. So if income is completely wiped out, in that case I highly doubt that majority of them will be able to pay their mortgages. And then we have one more element here, which is Bank of Canada and all other financial institutions who also came up with their own little plan to help out people in their own way. So the first one is mortgage deferral program, and the second one is interest rate cut. Now, mortgage deferral may have saved both investors and landlords for the time being, but as we progress to this presentation, we will see why this program may actually force these individuals to sell off their property over the long run, and which may eventually increase the housing supply that we have been looking for past couple of years, and cause a potential market crash. Um, now, because of the web subsidiary, even though employment has gone up a little, the problem being here is that because of the technological advancements that we had in past 10 to 12 years, lot of people have actually started working remotely. They have moved away from the city to save some money, and some of the single people who doesn't have any baggage, they even moved with their parents perhaps, which together I personally believe that has cut the rental income in half. um, and as such, what I personally think is that more and more investors and landlords are moving towards taking the mortgage deferral uh, uh, program right now. And obviously the cheap interest rate has also made it possible for them. But now let's look into this issue. uh, what if we fail to find a cure for COVID 19? in next 2 years or even more, then what might happen? So the first point is that because of COVID, immigration will slow down. Um, Number two, I think government will be forced to cut down on free money. They will instead just try to revive economy by fully subsidizing the companies that are hiring people right now. Number three, I think Bank of Canada will eventually have to increase their lending rate to control inflation. And number four, banks will eventually come back to the landlords and um, realtors. I mean, the real estate investors to pay back their money. Now, if that happens, my friend, let's see how landlords and investors economic situation might change. So the first one is that uh, because in that particular situation we will have less immigration and more people working remotely further away from the cities, rental income will definitely get cut in half, and most of the landlords and investors which will make it I think they will be in big trouble in that case, um, because it will make it will make much difficult for them to pay for their mortgages and all other expenses related to their home, because every single home has some fixed cost associated to it, and it's not just the mortgage that you are paying in a home. You need to pay for its insurance, especially if it's sitting empty. The insurance goes high. You have property tax and all those things. So it will be really tough for people who have been purchasing these houses for rental, and now their income has gone down to zero or even cut by half. Number two is that if Bank of Canada decides to increase the interest rate, though I personally think that this is very unlikely until we find a cure for COVID and the vaccination has already been given to majority of the people or samples. Um, but anyhow, even if Bank of Canada decides to, it doesn't really matter whether they increase it or not, to be honest. But even if they want to increase it, um, uh, I think what's going to happen is the banks will then increase their rate, which will cause a little bit more trouble at the time of renewing the mortgage for this current landlords or investors who has purchased these properties over their mean. Then the third point is that at the same time, what will happen is because government has been printing money like crazy, it was and free money was given to everyone. The inflation will go up, and eventually government will have their budget matched. So the property tax will even go much higher in the future. And then number four is that because more and more people are being forced to defer their mortgage right now because of low uh, in rental income, eventually their monthly mortgage payment will go up, maybe from 50 to even $300 or even more. So the thing is that the closer you are to pay off your mortgage, the higher your payment will be, because then you will be paying a larger amount of money within a short period of time. So all these factors, I think, if we cannot find a solution to COVID, all these factors, I think, eventually force few of the people to sell off their houses. In addition to that, we are almost coming to an end to the baby boomer era. Many of the houses will also become available to the market because of our great generations passing away to their next phase of life. Um, all these factors, I think, in next 3 to 5 years will increase the housing supply that we have been looking for past almost 8 9 years now. And eventually, as you know, supply increase, the house price decrease, and as house price decreases, there is always a chance for market correction, which leads to what we know as bubble popping or market crash. So uh, now the second question is that, um, what are the elements that I personally think that can save us from this type of market crash? And the only two things that comes to my mind is, first one is, if we find a cure for COVID, maybe a good vaccination, and everything goes back to exactly where we were before the pandemic happened, then definitely it can be bypass. Um, and the second factor that can actually make or break this situation is the immigration. So if we have more and more immigrants coming into Canada, they like we can actually create an artificial demand for rental market like we did before, and that way we might be able to save another market crash anytime soon. So anyways, the ending thought is that it's the immigrants really who can now either make or crash the Toronto housing market. And next time, if someone says that immigrants are stealing our job and ruining our country, you know what to say, what to explain to them. And thank you guys for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do subscribe, like, and leave a comment. That will really help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm, because this is a very new channel, and that way it will reach out to more and more people. So you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye.